Welcome back to another episode of the Word Zone Podcast, hosted by Chandler Dantzler. You can listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and watch on YouTube. Today we have 2024 University of Florida commit Kolt Myers. We're pumped to have you on the show. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Ready to start the season up. Get after it.
Before we start digging into travel ball, high school in the recruiting process, I like to ask this question here: Who is Kolt Myers? How would you introduce yourself?
Just a guy that honestly just loves the game, loves to play ball. It's really what I love to do, but I've had to grow with some things because baseball, if I'm really determines my mood off the field, like if I'm playing good, so I've had to
Yeah.
deal with some things like that. But other than that, I just love the game.
All right, can you just take us through your travel ball career? Just take us through how you got started playing with 2024 Florida Dodgers scout team. Tell us who you played for before them. Just take us through that whole experience of travel ball.
Yeah, started off with Five Star. Played with them through up to I was probably about 15, and then made the switch over to Dodgers just because I wanted to play with all my buddies,
Yeah.
a bunch of kids from around here that really was a good, talented group and can beat some of the teams that are from all over the country.
All right, can you talk about the summer with the Dodgers team as far as your performance and the team's performance?
We played pretty well. We had a good squad this year. A bunch of kids from around probably, I think we had one kid that wasn't in a 30, 45-mile radius, but we got a couple D1 guys who can really go out there and ball, but we had a really we didn't really win much, but half our goal wasn't really to go win trophies and stuff like that. It was to
Yeah.
get the kids committed and let them go play ball at the next level.
Yeah. All right, can you talk a little bit about the relationships you have with the team? Like you said, most of you guys are all from the same area. So what are your relationships with the other players on that team?
Yeah, we've been buddies for a while now. We're really with each other almost all the time, even when we're not on the field.
Mhm.
We just love to hang out with each other and talk baseball and get better together and push each other to be better, I guess you could say.
All right, did you have any favorite memories with that squad on the field and then off the field?
On the field was when we'd always play Five Star because like a bunch of kids on that team came from there, and it was always a real chirpy game. Everyone knew each other. Those were always fun and really brought everyone together.
That's great. All right, back on July 17th, you were selected as the top 40 player in the country for USA Baseball. Can you talk about that experience and what it was like being named top 40 prospect for USA Baseball?
It was really an honor, truly. There's out of 100 guys, there was really every single one of those kids deserved to be on that list.
Mhm.
Um, it's just unreal what the competition is like worldwide or countrywide.
Yeah.
Um, it's really ridiculous. Every kid you face is 94 to 97, and it's moving every which way, and
Yeah.
it's really hard to. I mean, baseball's a hard game, but it's different
All
than
right.
high school and stuff like that.
Yeah. Can you talk about the process of leading up to that top 40 players?
Yeah, we had a PDP event, and it was the top 100 players in the country. Where we went and we put on like workouts, and then we ended up playing 5 or 6 games, I believe. Had a pretty good showing there. Ended up going like 5 for 11, with a couple stolen bases, stuff like that, and then just took off from there. Really.
That's great. All right, let's move on. I saw you played for East Coast Pro. Can you explain to that what that? Can you explain to us what that is and what it was like playing for the Padres and wearing that kind of gear?
Yeah, it really what that event really was one of my favorite events of the summer, especially being sponsored by Adidas and all the stuff they put on for us and all the things they did. It really was really cool to be a part of. Um, they took like it was really just like a or north thing or south thing, my bad, or east thing, my bad. Um, and they took like the best kids from the East and put them all on different teams. And then you
Mhm.
just went out there and competed and played games. There was really a bunch of cool dudes there or good dudes there and a bunch of dudes with that had talent that we all grew up playing against, especially with travel baseball in Florida and how
Yeah.
we all started that so young here and playing it year round. So it was
Yeah.
really cool to catch up with a bunch of those guys and see how they were doing along on their process.
That's great. All right, let's move on to high school here. The last 3 years you played for Bartram Trail High School and recently transferred over to St. John's Country Day. Can you talk about the last 3 years at Bartram and what you enjoyed the most?
Bartram was really a lot of fun, especially my freshman and sophomore year. Had a lot of dudes that really brought me up in the process who really taught me a lot more knowledge about the game and like certain things, how the game speeds up on you, how to slow the game down, stuff like that. Those guys really took me under their wing and really formed me into the type of player I am today. And without those guys, I don't think I'd be here. But Bartram really did teach me and grow me into the player I am right now.
All right. Last season, I think you suffered an ankle injury in the middle of the season. Can you talk about that injury and the process of getting back to normal?
Yeah, I stole or I got walked against Bulls and then I ended up stealing second and third. And I went up and when I was stealing third, I didn't slide and went in kind of weird
Mm-hmm.
and just rolled it on the bag, ended up having a sprained ankle. Was hobbling around on it, was playing on it when I probably shouldn't have. Um, and then I just after I think it was y'all we played, then I hit the rehab and started building it back up and getting back after it, and then now we're good as new.
Yeah. All right. Heading into your senior year at St. John's, what are your main goals? What are you working on in the fall?
Well, main team goal right now is a state championship. Me and the boys don't want to go down without one, and we won't. But as me as an individual, the things I'm working on is just really getting bigger, faster, and stronger and developing my body to get ready for the next level.
Gotcha. All right. How do you compare the difference of high school and travel ball, and which one would you prefer more and why?
Um, it's really a lot different when it comes to high school and travel ball. People don't think it's that different, but like the energy and atmosphere, it's completely different.
Yeah.
Um, I honestly would prefer high school ball because we're playing for something that's important to everybody,
Mm-hmm.
even the kids that aren't playing. And it's really just a team thing and grows 20 guys really close together into an unbreakable bond.
Sure. All right. Let's kind of dig into the recruiting process here. On July 22nd of 2022, you decommitted from the University of South Florida. Can you talk about that decision and why you made it?
Yeah, I ended up decommitting there because I really honestly I just developed more, hit the weight room and started seeing more results on the field because of that and just betted on myself and decided that I wanted something bigger and really just tried to get on the SEC train and see what I could do and believed in myself, and that's really what happened.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about what happened last year in August. Last year, August 15th of 2022, you committed to the University of Florida. Can you talk about that decision and when did colleges started reaching out to you?
Um, I was in a tournament at the time when I decommitted from USF. It was in WWA, and I knew I was going to decommit from there because I had like bigger schools, like top SEC schools coming to see me there. So I decided to decommit, and then as far as Florida goes, they weren't really looking at me. And then area codes of my sophomore year, I went there, put on a good showing, and then I got a call from Florida that day, and they offered me a scholarship. And then I really just jumped on it because it's really hard to turn down the University of Florida, especially it being so close to home.
Yeah, definitely. All right, after you committed to Florida, what did that mean to you and your family?
It was really, really special moment, and just because of how big of a program it is, I mean, it's the one of the best, if not the best, baseball program in the country for college baseball. And it really just made me want to work harder and try to earn a spot as a freshman and just win a national championship.
All right, as you're comparing schools, what were some things you're looking for talking to those college coaches?
For me, in my mind, it was really SEC or bust. I wanted to go play in the best conference and prove I could do it. Um, so that was one of the main things I was looking for. And then I was also looking for a coaching staff that would get into me when I needed it and
Mhm.
not get into me when I didn't need it and just really understood me as a player and could help me develop me and grow me into the player I want to be.
That's great. All right. What advice would you give other people getting into the recruiting process right now?
Really, just don't. I would say don't let the early talk like confuse everything, because so much stuff can happen until till you're signing in your senior year. I would say to take it slow and see all your options, and it's a slow process. You got to enjoy it.
All right. You kind of mentioned area code earlier. Can you talk about that experience as far as what you did and how it happened?
Yeah, area code is great. You go out there and it's like there are kids from all over the country there. Like they've got a team from California, they've got teams from like Los Angeles, they got teams from everywhere. Um they ended up like picking the top players from each state they were representing, and we went and played there. It was a great event. We played at University of San Diego, so it was really cool to see that campus and
Yeah.
see what things were like on the other side of the coast.
All right. Let's kind of dig into training here. Can you talk about where you train at during the season and where you train at in the off season?
I train at Joey Pearson's. Or it's River Strong Fitness. He really is like my one-on-one guy. He gets my speed right, my agility, my footwork. That's what I really work on in season, to keep it light and to keep myself agile and moving and stuff like that. Off season, it's really just lifting, and that's really just on my own, or I have a program that I follow, so I just do those on my own.
All right. What does training look like for you in season and off season as far as how many days a week?
Off season or fall, as of right now, I'm going 6 days a week with a speed day. So I'll have one day where I'm like doing footwork or doing explosive stuff, like I'm really trying to get my 60 down and just see how fast I can get.
All right. What motivates you to go to the gym every day and get that extra work in at the field?
Really just, I mean, baseball's a hard game, and you got to fall in love with the process, not the result. And really, I just love going to the field every day, and like it really just, it's like my relax button, I guess you could say, going to the field every day and just doing what I love, hanging out with my friends and just competing and getting better.
All right. With your dad being Brett Myers, being in the league for 10 plus years, what has it been like being around baseball, the baseball field your whole life?
Yeah, that really was huge for me. It really like showed me what I needed to do to get where I wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
And having those type of role models at such a young age really gave me someone to want to be like, and that stuck with me forever. And it really, like, just watching those guys, like I wanted to do exactly what they did, and I really just tried to model everything, and that's why I can do some of the things I can do.
That's awesome. All right, let's kind of dig into the quick questions here. When you're walking up to the plate, what is your approach? What are you thinking?
Um, I'm a real like gap to gap guy. Like my approach is up the middle and the other way. I try to hit one off the opposite field gap
Mm-hmm.
or right back up the middle. Um, and when I try to like deuce too much or like put that home run swing on a ball, that's when I'm screwing myself into the ground
Yeah.
and rolling over or popping something up. But when I'm in my approach and staying through the baseball, that's when I'm really good.
All right. What do you think Colt's life looks like in about 2 to 3 to 4 years from now?
Hopefully I'll be making my way through minor league baseball or in in the league.
Yeah. All right. If you could pick one brand deal to collab with, what brand would it be?
I would probably pick Nike just so I can wear the Jumpman stuff.
Yeah.
That's something that I've really thought, or Jordan, something that's really, I don't know. I love everything Jordan.
All right. Who's your pregame artist or song before a game?
Oof. Pre-game artist, I'd have to go with Young Boy. He really just gets me going, I guess.
Gotcha. All right. What do you do in your free times outside of sport?
Um, I really just like to hang out with my friends, either go golfing or go get on the boat and ride around or go skiing, stuff like that.
All right, last question here. If you could give any advice to any young baseball player, what would you say to them?
Um, I would say love the process. It's going to be a long and hard one, but you got to enjoy every step of it because you never know when it's going to be your last.
All right, thank you, Colt, for coming on the podcast. Good luck with your upcoming senior year at St. John's.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yep.